You've been blaming on it for half a year. There's nothing I can do. You gotta change, dear. You two really bring out the best in each other.
Yeah, we consider to stick together forever. Have nice dreams.
So we're going to recap a little bit. So Sebastian, if you can just tell us the last little bit of about you, and then we'll continue on with the interview.
Okay. So, hey guys, I'm Sebastian. I was born in England, and I'm half Chinese, half Austrian, but I grew up mostly in Hong Kong. And I went to Shoreditch College. I grew up. I've been here now 19 years, on and off. I did my university in Scotland, studied finance, and then I came back to Hong Kong, and then my parents wanted me to do a PhD in business, and I compromised with them, and I did a master's degree. I did a online part-time master's degree in business instead. And I've always wanted to get into art. I love music, and also acting. That's always been something that I wanted to do. Everybody. It's not so straightforward. If you're saying that you want to be an actor, it's like, I want to be an astronaut. It's like, how do you start?
I know there's so many different pathways to get into the industry as well.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that acting was something you were very interested in, and you've always wanted to dive into the arts. So what pushed you to become an actor? What made you actually take that step?
I don't think it was one step. It was an accumulation of lots of different things that eventually gradually got me there. So before acting, I think the biggest platform that led me to that was modeling. And it's interesting in Hong Kong, because in Hong Kong it's different from many other parts of the world, where in Hong Kong acting and modeling can be seen as one, whereas in other parts of the world it's seen as completely separate. So you could be doing a modeling job, but then you can end up doing a TV commercial, and then that can also help with kickstarting your film career or your acting career. Yeah. So it's different from, let's say, the US. Yeah. And I think to get into acting in Hong Kong, you have to be very, very proactive. Yeah. I think it is the same everywhere. You can't be just drifting around and expecting it to happen. It does to some people. They win the jackpot, they win the lottery, and they get scouted and they become a movie star. But if you want to make a career in film or theater acting, you have to go out there. You need to go to the agencies, you need to go to castings, you need to find it out for yourself. And you need to hustle. You have to be hungry for it. And especially in media, I think you have to do things and always network and meet people and go to events. So the way that I got started, I started in modeling. I wanted to try it out. I was teaching English part-time in the summers.
In Hong Kong?
Yeah, when I was a student. And then I thought, hey, why don't I? Well, my friend did modeling. Let's see if I can give it a try. I liked the idea of it, and I was actually on the way to an agency. I've never done any modeling before. I think I just finished university. I was like 20, 21. Yeah, I was at 21, and then I was on the way to an agency, and then I got scouted, ironically. But even if the agent didn't come up to me, I still would have been going to that agency, turning up, saying, hi, I'm Seb, do you guys have any work for me? I'm living in Hong Kong, I got an ID, I can work here. And that helped me, and that kind of mindset helped me a lot.
Do you think having a HK ID really makes a difference
Yes.
in terms of, and why so, compared to a visa?
Oh, well, both are great, yeah.
Both are great.
Yeah, but I realized that there's a lot of models that just come here for 3 months at a time and then they leave. And being here for just a short period, you don't have the time to really build up a relationship and get into the acting industry.
So after high school, you said your steps were to go to university, get your finance degree, and then you came back, did your master's, and then you finally pursued into acting. Was it hard for you to make that switch? Was it scary to make that switch?
Yes. It really, it took, well, many years. Yeah, I mean, I did my first job when I was 21, and I was just an extra in a film. I actually met Chris Hemsworth. That's yeah. He came to Hong Kong, and I did a scene with him, and yeah, it like blew my mind. I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know I was going to meet him today, and here I am chatting with him.
That's worth this price.
Yeah, and then I got in trouble for that because I wasn't supposed to be talking to him.
Oh, so like set rules.
Yes, yeah.
That's interesting. Maybe we can talk a little bit more later on. So, you know, how did you get your first gig in acting then? Did you have to do any casting, auditions?
So when I started acting, I was mainly doing extra work. I was background. I was doing background in some local films and some Hollywood films that were filming in Hong Kong. I was in the background in Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson. Actually, I had a scene just with her, but you can't see me because I'm wearing a mask. So, but I could see myself in the film and some other films. So I do recommend to maybe go for roles that are just the background, just to experience a set, because acting is not quite like I think many people imagine. They do glamorize it a lot. They think it's an awesome lifestyle, and you're just pampered, and you know, makeup, hair, and you know, it's the life. You're getting paid, and that is true to an extent. It is also quite stressful being an actor.
Right.
You do have to remember your lines. You might be just having to do something really spontaneously. They'll just impulsively say, oh, you need to. We need you to memorize this paragraph, and we're going to be shooting in 2 minutes. And you're like, what? And you might be doing very long hours. So one of the films that I shot a couple of years ago, which was the one that just came out in the cinema with Andy Lau, we were filming from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Wow.
for most of the days. And then on top of that, I still had my other job, which is my personal training fitness job. So that was pretty stressful.
Yes, I feel like a lot of people don't really understand, like as you mentioned, people glamorize this career path, but in reality, if you're starting off, you might be juggling jobs. In Canada, I have a lot of friends who are actors, but they're also waiting. They're waitresses and waiters at a restaurant. And there's a lot of hustling. You have to be hungry for it, and I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. You have to really be very proactive if you want to be successful in it. If you want to make it a full-time career, you have to be going out there. You have to constantly be just following up on agents, following up on roles. You can't sit there and put in a little bit of effort and expect it to you really need. I'm always trying to keep on developing. I'm trying to always develop my skills. I'm doing workshops, and you have to kind of be like a yes person. You have to not always. I mean yes in terms of the work. Yeah, most of the time, if there is a casting, go for it. Do it, even if you don't think you're not going to get it. Still go for it. There's been many times where I thought, it doesn't really suit me. I don't think I'm going to get it. There were roles where it was even for like a different ethnicity, where I didn't think I was going to get it, but they said try, or I just went for it by myself, and then I nailed it. And then there were many other times where I thought, oh, okay, they want this height, they want a mixed guy, athletic. This is mine. I got this. And then I show up, and then I wouldn't get the role. I was like, oh, okay. So you need to have an open mind and be very hungry for it, and you need to also have the mindset that it's okay to get rejected, because it is quite a harsh industry. You're going to get a lot of criticism for your acting, for your modeling, for the way that you look. You might not get many roles, and that's okay, and that's fine. It's all right. It's all right if you get constantly rejected, but you also have to take a step back. Why did I not get the role? Is it because of something that I didn't do, or was it because I just wasn't?
Sounds like you have to have a lot of perseverance
And
like,
initiative.
Yeah.
initiative for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
We actually have a question from the audience, and they're wondering if your travels for school or Scotland, they mentioned particularly, if any of that was helpful in pursuing your career here.
I think that if I did not go to the UK, I don't think I would be as deep into the industry as I am today. So I didn't have a really good experience in the UK. I got bullied a lot. I was really skinny, and with my accent, living in Scotland and going to a public school, I got a lot of bullying. And I wanted to escape and come back to Hong Kong and pursue something that really interested me, but at the same time live up to the expectations of my parents, because they were like, come on, modeling, acting.
Yeah.
So I think it is always great, like you mentioned, some of your friends, they're also doing other jobs while doing acting.
Mm-hmm.
And it is tough, especially right now in Hong Kong with the pandemic. A lot of productions have been postponed or completely cut. And I think that it is always great to have a plan B. So it's okay to, like me, I didn't study acting until later on. I pursued finance, and that's all right. So what you do in university doesn't mean that's what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the choices and the decisions that you make right now and over the years, it really accumulates to what is going to happen to you later on. So the roles that I do now, a lot of the roles are action-based, because I started going to the gym. I got bullied, so I started going to the gym, and then I started getting bigger, and I started doing competitions in powerlifting, bodybuilding, and that also helped me with doing more film roles where I was supposed to be a henchman, big bad guy, or more action-based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of silver lining, you got bullied, but then that motivated you to work out, and then that eventually led to your dream job. That's pretty awesome.
Speaking of what you're doing and the choices that you're making, we have this little game called What's Happening Here.
Mm-hmm.
And we've pulled a couple of images from resources that you shared with us, and we're going to show them to you, and just if you can explain a little bit about what's happening in this scene or at this time.
Uh-huh.
So here's the first one. I'm going to hold it kind of on an angle for the audience and for you.
Okay, so I need to explain.
What's happening here?
Okay, so the guy in the white, he's our big boss. So we're a bunch of terrorists, and we are planting a nuclear bomb in the MTR. Yeah, and so the guy in white is the main big boss, and he's meeting up with the colleagues, and I'm one of the main baddies in the film.
Great.
Yeah. So
this would be mid-scene, yeah?
Yes, and this was the film where we would be shooting overnight, also in the train station, because we can only shoot when the train's not when it's not operating.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really, really interesting, doing a lot of pretend firing, and it was so cool because they did so much stuff post. So they added in the
Special effects.
Yeah. The fire, the blood, all of that. None of that was there.
Blood.
Even the blood. Yeah.
Wow.
Technology.
I know, that's quite impressive.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. We've got you,
Yeah. So
a couple buddies.
this was behind the scenes of the same film. Yeah. So that's Jai in the center and Kino on the other side. These guys are, they're really up and coming. Jai's a really great actor. He's worked with a lot of guys. He's done films with Jackie Chan and Steven Seagal also, and
Oh, nice.
and he flies to LA quite often.
Maybe not now.
Yeah, and Kino, he just started a production company. So in terms of behind the scenes, when you're on set, I do love taking behind the scenes, but you also have to do it kind of sneakily, because you can get in trouble. In the same film, there was a lady that got fired because she posted a behind the scenes photo on Facebook, and you're not supposed to do that, because that might be giving away the story of the film before it's even come out. Once the film has come out, then you can post it. Yeah.
So you have to have some confidentiality and understanding.
Yeah, for a lot of the bigger films, they make you sign something before. Not all the time. No. So if they don't, then I'm going to be taking photos. But
Sure, great. Now this one. Can you see it okay there?
Yeah, this is a TV commercial for the mattress Casablanca. So it was a TV commercial called, it even had a name, it was called In Love with Sleep.
So this particular scene, how does it feel to have to portray, more close or intimate relationships with people that you might not really know?
So the acting industry in Hong Kong, well, everywhere is quite crazy in terms of everything can happen just completely unexpectedly, and you had no idea. So you might turn up on set. I had no idea that I was going to do this until I got there, and I was like, okay. There have been times where I've had to maybe kiss a co-star, and I didn't know that was going to happen, which is not great. It's not professional on the part of the production, but it sometimes happens, and it's okay to say no. It's okay to let a production know when you're uncomfortable. Let your agent know if it doesn't feel right. And you also need to take into account that you might have to just sometimes wing it when you turn up. Also for castings, you'll turn up for a casting, and then they'll say, okay, you're sitting at a restaurant and you're trying to hit up the lady on the other table. Okay, we're gonna record 3, 2, 1, let's go. And you have to just do it like that.
Improvisation.
Yes, you have to improvise just there and then, and you had no time to practice, you had no time to rehearse, you just have to do it. And you have to get used to doing that. So you always have to be prepared, and it's really great to ask questions. Ask as many questions as possible. Find out what is this role about, what am I doing, and be comfortable with being judged and having people watch you and having a camera in front of you.
I don't think it's necessarily judging. It could be also just seeing how well you can play with your character as well. Because when we have drama club auditions, I make them improvise, and I'm not judging
great.
you.
That's really
I'm not
good.
judging
That's
you.
really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to see how you can play your character. So don't think I'm judging you during auditions.
Yeah. No, but judging, as a client, because at the end of the day, you're trying to sell yourself to the brand or to the production. So you have to put yourself in their shoes and think, what do they want to see? What do they want? Yeah, even if this is not in drama, if this is another industry, if you're trying to sell yourself, you're trying to get a job in finance, what does the employer want from you? Yeah, it's not about you. It's about what do they want, and you have to take that into account also when you are on set. It's all fun and games to be taking photos and chatting with other actors or people in the crew, but at the end of the day, you are there to work, and you have to. Yeah, you can have a good dynamic, and it is very important to be nice and kind to other people. Yeah, especially because Hong Kong is so small. The industry in acting and modeling is tiny, which is great for networking, and it's terrible if you fall out with someone, or there's a scandal, or maybe there's gossip or stuff like that. So you don't want to be in that position.
For sure, for sure.
Sounds like there's a level of professionalism that you have to have kind of at all times as well.
Yes.
So here's the next one. I'll give you a quick peek first. And then I'm going to straighten my arms out a little bit to get closer to the camera here. What's happening here?
So in this one, I don't think I'm supposed to even have posted this one yet. But I haven't actually posted this one like on social media. But This was on my Google Drive. So that is fine. It's fine. This one
Can we censor it?
is it hasn't even come out yet,
Okay.
but it's okay. It's a TV commercial. It's not a film.
Okay.
So this is for.
Can you talk about it?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
not, we can
yeah.
skip it.
No. It's all good. It's for Gilead. It's a pharmaceutical company, and the theme was James Bond. And I think the commercial got postponed because the James Bond film got postponed because I think they wanted to synchronize it with when it came out. So I've had many projects that I've done which never actually showed up. I did some ads for Carlsberg for the Rugby Sevens, and because the Rugby Sevens didn't happen, it never showed.
But you got
Yeah.
paid.
I got paid. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Is this one okay to?
Yes,
So
that's
next,
good. Yeah.
This
yeah.
one I'm quite intrigued by because of the outfit and the
Mhm.
green screen in the background. But what's happening here?
So this one was one of my favorite shoots. This one was really cool. This was like a dream come true. So this was actually for McDonald's,
Yummy.
and this was
McDonald's.
Yes.
Superman. I really
yeah.
guessed.
So when Superman versus Batman came out, there was a Superman burger, and then I did the TV commercial for that, and it was so awesome. Just doing the wire stunts, wearing the costume, and getting a fan blown, and my cape is just yeah.
Full superhero
Yeah.
treatment.
Yeah, it was
exactly.
so cool. It was really great, and that's what I love about the industry of acting and modeling in general. It's every project is completely different. You get a new experience. It's not boring. It is exciting. It's exciting. It is boring sometimes when you're waiting on set, because honestly, 90% of the time you are waiting.
Mhm.
Yes, but that 10% of you doing the shooting is I find it really fun. Yeah.
So for this commercial,
Yeah.
what did the director tell you to imagine when you were working on this? Do you remember?
A lot of the times, the director won't give you many directions.
Oh.
Yes. So, benefit of the doubt. If the director doesn't say anything and you did the shot, you did the take, it was a good take. Yeah. Only if they tell you something, then that's usually when you gotta change it up. Yeah. But it is up to you to work on your skills as a stuntman or purely acting. So it's great to see the Hong Kong theater and acting industry start to grow in terms of development. There's more workshops now. There's I've been working with the Actors Gym, and there are some other workshops that are you can just pay and you can take their courses.
Mhm.
And I've been doing that, working on my acting skills, because acting it's very vague in terms of the career path and skill development. It's not so straightforward, and for some people they're so natural, they are just made for it, and they can just do it and nail it. And for others, they have to work on it, and they will improve, and they can they will also get far in the industry. So I'm telling you now, there are now more and more workshops springing up where you can work on your skills and development.
And I feel like if you have the opportunity for it, you should definitely try it out. Because I was told that no matter what skills you have, it could be juggling balls, you should have that in your portfolio or resume, because you might have a job that requires the character or actor to juggle.
Yes.
It could be a small skill.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you talked about going to workshops, but what about
Yeah.
building a portfolio as an actor or model?
Mm-hmm. So, how to get started? Acting, I would say, is even trickier than modeling. Modeling is, especially now with social media nowadays with Instagram, you can be posting photos from your phone. It doesn't cost you anything. It's pretty much free. Or you can borrow a friend's camera, or you can collaborate with other students that have cameras and get nice photos, post them on Instagram, and you can actually make an Instagram maybe purely for modeling or acting, which doesn't cost you anything, which is great about nowadays. And there's more and more KOLs, influencers that are getting into the industry of modeling and acting, and more productions are using those people because they might be cheaper, and then also they are also relatable to others.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I recommend in terms of building a portfolio to don't waste your money on renting a studio just yet and paying other photographers. Work with what you have. Work with your friends, with your school maybe also, and you can get some nice photos. And for both modeling and acting, it is very important to have just some headshots of yourself, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, and a short introduction video. That applies for both modeling and acting. So introduce yourself.
Should you ever say your age in your slate or in your audition video?
It depends. It depends. So in acting, there is the visual age and there's your real age. So for example, last month? No, I think this month. Yes, this month I did a film where I was wearing a really baggy hoodie and I played an 18-year-old. Yeah, and I was playing the same person but in 3 different timelines. So 18, 24, 18, 20, and then 29. Yeah. So it's a great it's a great thing to be able to be flexible with your roles. So to be able to play somebody older and younger gives you more flexibility. Yeah. But I mean, if you can't, if for some reason you look way older, that's fine too. I mean, then you can play older people too. But to be more flexible will give you more options.
So how do you get these jobs? Do you always go to casting call, auditions? What's the process like auditioning for these roles?
Right, so, okay, with acting, so I got started through modeling. So through meeting agents, through my friend's cousin, he worked in an agency, and that's how I got one of the first jobs for acting as an extra. And then through modeling, I was doing acting in TV commercials, and it just one after the other. So I never got signed exclusively to an agency. I've always been doing it freelance. And now, which is different from when I started, it's a lot easier to get just a portfolio done because now there are more model groups and films that are happening, short films on Facebook groups that are doing casting calls, a lot more student films happening, which is great. So I'd recommend join the model groups on Facebook, join the film groups on Facebook, and look out for the auditions, look out for the castings. Take headshots, because that doesn't cost anything, and you can do that, prepare for it. Take care of yourself. So, I mean, when I was a teenager, I had like lots of spots, and so I started doing bodybuilding competitions, so I started eating healthier, and now I'm not very healthy, but yeah, if you take care of yourself, you can get some nice shots in, or Photoshop, and I recommend make a Google Drive. So that's what I do, and you can put everything on there, your headshots, your introduction video, and resume is not as important. So let's say that you are an extra in a film, at least you can put that in. So every little bit helps you. You can fake it till you make it at the start. Yeah, I would also approach agencies. So I also recommend to do modeling as a gateway to acting in Hong Kong, because it really helps, and it builds up your confidence and your familiarity with being in a production, doing the shoots, doing videos, TV commercials.
Yeah, when I was in high school, a special guest speaker came in and told us that for our resume, if we do have an acting resume, we can actually put our high school plays that we've been in to help us start off, like, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You also mentioned joining Facebook groups to help you get started, network, finding opportunities online.
Yeah.
I think we are ready for our next game.
Yes, we have another game. This is the do and don't game. So we've got these handy dandy little signs saying do. Yes,
Yeah.
I got the right one. And don't. And I'm going to read out some scenarios. And if you don't mind holding those up as to whether you should do this or you should not do this.
Okay.
And any other, helpful tips, that would be great. So the first, I don't like how the director directed my scene. I go over to him and tell them my ideas, and I start instructing the camera crew on what to do. Do or don't.
I think it depends because if it's a student film and you're really good friends with the director, then I think in that situation and you're the main role, in that situation actually might be okay. I mean, the way that's said is more like you're instructing the crew to do what you want. Maybe don't do that. But if you want to change slightly maybe the way that the character's portrayed or maybe their lines, you can communicate that to the director. But if you're a side cast and it's a big film, then I do not recommend doing that because you might not get more work.
Fair enough. Relationships are important, right? Yeah. Okay, the next one. Arrive at least 15 minutes earlier than your call time. Do or don't?
Do, definitely. I think one of the most important things in the industry, acting and modeling, is be on time. Mm-hmm. You could be super tall, very pretty, the most amazing actor or actress, but if you're late, you're not going to last long in the industry. Yeah.
My professor once said, if you're 5 minutes early, you are on time. If you're on time, you're late.
You're late.
Yeah.
I've heard that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, next one. Study the people you will meet before going on set or casting.
Yes.
Do or don't?
Definitely. I've made quite a few mistakes. Yeah. So I remember I had to play the lover of this lady, and I was just so busy. Terrible excuse. I just didn't put in the time to look her up. She was an American actress, Beth Bears. She was in a film, a TV series called Two Broke Girls.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard of that.
And I didn't do my research. I turned up. She was talking about her stuff, and I had no idea what she was talking about. I didn't really know who she was, and I felt a little bit rude because I'm not like a star. But she is, and I definitely should have done a little bit more research. Yeah.
And also knowing who's there is a great opportunity to network and then keep in contact for future opportunities as well.
Yeah. Networking is so important in the industry. Mm-hmm. But you have to also take into account that you don't want to be breaching your contract. So, for example, if you're with an agent and you're signed, you can't be doing any sort of other project behind their back or giving out your contact. Okay, so follow the rules, but also network where you can. Mm-hmm. Yeah, meet other people, meet other actors, actresses, work with them, photographers, get their contacts. It doesn't hurt. It's always going to be great. Yeah.
Just going to make one little plug for the visual arts here is that it sounds like it's great to have a relationship with photographers and other creatives, even if it's not necessarily in the dramatic arts. So it sounds like there's a lot of opportunity for both the visual side of arts and the dramatic side to kind of come together. So that sounds really great. The next one for do or don't. I should act with a lot of gestures and body language. Do or don't?
I'm going to put both because it depends on what they're looking for. So if it's a lot of Hong Kong TV commercials tend to be very slapstick and very over the top. So this is actually where you want to be like really
theatrical.
Yes. A lot of hand gestures, a lot of exaggerated body language, and there are theater and film where you have to be very realistic, and you can't be doing that.
And also you're trapped in a frame.
Yes.
So you got to only use your frame.
Yes, yes. So take into account where is the camera. Don't cover your face. Don't look away when you're acting because then they can't see it. Theater is a little bit different from film. Yes. It's definitely different, but both are great for building on each other. So theater is great for building up your confidence and your voice projection, and Film, there's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of little small technicalities that you have to take into account with film. I feel like I can talk about this all day. It's really fun. Yeah.
Well, with that being said, I think maybe we should move on because we have a few more things that we want to talk about before our time's up today.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about agency.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find the right one?
Okay, so what I found is in Hong Kong, there are so many modeling agents, but getting into acting is kind of like a mystery. It's quite secretive. TVB is quite straightforward. You to get into TVB, you've got the building. The agents are easy to contact, but to get into films and getting main roles is not straightforward. I would. I can give some agents. I can recommend some Facebook groups to getting started, and through jobs, it's also a great way to network with other agents.
What should they look out for? Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Oh, it's a difficult question. So, it is not easy to get signed when you're starting off as an actor to a big agency. You're just, if you email them, if you turn up, they just not respond. So start small, that's okay, and through there you might then start getting castings for more side roles, main roles through that. So I would say try both. If you want to get into acting, try modeling also. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to help with your skill. You don't have to do it long term.
So I heard a lot of scams in the past.
Scams?
Yes, like where you have to pay to get into the agency.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts
Don't
on that?
do that.
Is that real? So don't do it.
Yeah, never
pay. What else should they watch out for?
So red flags?
Yes, red flags.
Red flags, don't pay. Watch out for contracts in terms of a contract isn't necessarily a bad thing. Another great way to get into acting, if you want to do, for example, TVB, you want to do lots of soaps and dramas, is to get signed with an agency. So you can do that through modeling agents, or if they want to sign you as an artist. And you need to be careful with the contract in terms of how many years you're signing for. So I would recommend, if you're completely new to modeling, to also get signed with an agency, and to sign 2, maybe max 3 years. I wouldn't sign longer than that. There are some agencies that they find teenagers that are, if they've got potential, they can see it, and then they will put down kind of aggressive and get them to basically sign 10 years and tell them, like, you got to do this, and this is your only opportunity. If you don't do it today, maybe we won't have this contract for you tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So don't be intimidated by that. You can take a step back, think about it. Don't sign for too long, because especially for TVB, if we're talking about career, because career is also money, you're not going to be paid much in TVB. But TVB is a great way to get exposure. It is a great way to lead to another path in your career.
Yeah, I think the Hong Kong system and maybe international systems quite different. The contracts are different.
Yeah.
From what I know, a lot of local artists, they do rely more on sponsorship rather than working as an artist themselves. So that's one thing to really consider if acting is something you want to go into. You got to consider what your goals are financially as well. So working in film, how do you normally get yourself into character?
Okay, so what will happen in a casting is they will send you a little excerpt, a little part of the script. You'll do the script, and you got the green light, and then right away, if they didn't send it to you yet, ask for the rest of the script. Because, like I said earlier, you gotta be proactive. You have to be hungry. Don't just sit there and wait for it to happen. You need to ask. You need to ask for everything. Questions like what am I doing? Who am I? Where's the shooting location? What time are we shooting? If they don't know yet, but you can ask them, can you just let me know when you do know? So once you get your script, you can and you know you have a back kind of an idea of the story, you can start to prepare. So.
Do you do writing in role?
I recommend particularization, so to build a world around the role. So for example, if you are, I'm going to be doing a film this next month called Away.
Say the name?
Away, it's called
Okay.
Away, yeah. And it's a short film where I'm going to be a drug addict. Yeah. And in the I'm going to be a wannabe rock star, a very unsuccessful band member that takes drugs in Hong Kong. I'm one of the don't take drugs, and I'm one of the roles in the film, and what I'm doing is I'm building a world around it. So I'm thinking about what is the flat that I live in, what does it look like? What shoes do I wear? What kind of clothes do I wear? What kind of music do I like? What's my background? What caused me to get here? Because in acting, I think a lot of people misunderstand acting with pretending to be somebody else. You're not. You have to be that person. You are when the camera is recording and you're interacting with somebody else. You are reacting to that person. You're not. You don't already know, okay, then I'm going to be surprised. You are genuinely going to be surprised by what they're going to be saying. It surprises you, and it's a difficult thing to get your head around, but it's something that you need to take into account, and it's something that you can practice and you can build around. So look at the script, think about the world around you, be the person, relate to them. There's always going to be a little part of you in the character, or else it's just so foreign and you can't understand the character. If you can't understand who you're supposed to be, you can't be that person.
Yeah.
You have to understand what are the motivations. Why are they that person? What do they want? What food do they like? Why do they like to wear this? Or what are they trying to express? Yeah.
Just have to imagine every aspect.
Yes.
Earlier you mentioned that you have to be able and prepared to deal with rejection. So how do you personally deal with rejection?
I go home and I just have the mindset that I'm going to do the casting and I'm going to give it the best that I can, and I'm going to try to give them what they want. But if I don't get the role, that's fine. That's okay. And if my friend got it, because the industry is so small, I'm happy for them and I don't mind. And that's okay. You can't be so affected. You're never gonna get all the shots you take, but you're gonna get 0 shots. That
If you don't go.
yeah, you're gonna miss every shot if you don't take any. Yeah.
It's better to try than not try.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Can I jump in with just one or two questions here from the audience? So in terms of preparing yourself, are there any specific classes that you might take in high school? And we have someone asking about new languages. Is it good to have multiple languages?
For
on
sure,
your resume?
yes. Yeah. I think, sorry, what was the first question?
The educational requirements that would be best.
For acting?
Yeah, obviously the drama.
Yeah,
drama for sure, but
yeah.
is English, super helpful? Is it good to have a science background? I guess it depends on the role you're playing.
Depends on the role. I think that when you're doing a casting, they will ask you what skills do you have, and they're looking for things like music, martial arts. If you've done,
Maybe
it's not
activities too, right?
So the sciences and the maths is not important for
Sorry, Mr. Wu.
for castings. It is not. Yeah, but this is just for film. It is important if the role requires you to be a scientist, and then you can relate to what you've studied. Yeah, but honestly, no, you're it's because it's not directly linked to your academics. It's not. Yeah, there are high school dropouts that are actors, and I'm not saying to drop out of school. What I'm saying is, you don't have to put that in the casting. Yeah.
And it's important to learn as many skills as possible,
Yes.
just in case
Yes.
that
Yes.
character
Yeah.
fits that role.
Yes,
Mhm.
and in terms of language is so important. It is so important. So now that I'm improving my Canto, I'm doing more roles where I can speak Cantonese, and my Mandarin is terrible, but I'm working on it. And there are so many opportunities also now. The future of film in Hong Kong, you should learn Mandarin. You really should. More and more producers in Hong Kong film are from the mainland, and I've worked in the mainland, and I think I can honestly say that the pay there is also better than in Hong Kong for film. And there's more projects there, and especially now with the pandemic, it's been really tough in Hong Kong with projects. So many projects getting cancelled, so many projects getting postponed, and it is bittersweet because at the same time there's also less competition. So you can build your own project. There's more and more short films, yeah, and you're not going to have to compete with people from outside of Hong Kong for those roles. So it's a blessing in disguise. So make use of that. Make use of the castings in Hong Kong right now, and keep working on your language skills, because who knows where that's going to lead. Yeah, and other skills. So even if you don't study drama or art in university, whatever you study can also help with film, with acting.
That sounds like some great advice, especially
Yeah.
for some of our students who are looking to go into those fields. So,
Cool, thanks.
All right, well, I think that is our time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I learned a lot. I do not have a dramatic arts background. Now I feel like I've got a little bit of the know-how, and I hope the students did as well. We appreciate you taking the time to come out to be with us today, so thank you.
Cool, thanks for having me. Thanks, guys.
But before we say bye, do you want to just say where students can possibly find you or follow your upcoming projects, just really quickly?
Okay. Oh, one more thing I wanna quickly touch on: important skills taught in high school that you can apply in life. So what I looking back now, because I've been working now for a while, and what I think is so underrated in high school is social development. So working with others, working with other people, being in an environment, because people skills is so important. If you can get along with other actors and the crew and the director, they're gonna really like you, and they're gonna want to work with you again. You could be the most amazing actor in the world, but if you're a pain to work with, if you're late, you're not going to get much work. So punctuality, social development, working with others, being sociable, being you have to be an extrovert. I'm not an extrovert. I don't think I am. I'm more of an introvert, but I've learned to just not really care anymore and be more extroverted and be able to interact with others more comfortably. I was very shy before, trust me. I really was. And discipline. So getting the work done, doesn't matter if you're tired, pull an all-nighter, you got the deadline tomorrow, you got to do it. That is a skill. Because you're gonna have to do that later on in life. It's gonna happen. How can people find me? Instagram. I don't really use Instagram that much anymore. I've been a little bit lazy on Instagram because I've been so busy. But I think for younger people, Instagram is a great tool for everything. So Instagram, maybe YouTube. Also, I'm gonna start posting more on YouTube. Yeah.
So exciting.
Great. Yeah.
So once again, thank you so much for coming here.
We are now going to launch the Nuit Noire virtual gallery. So you can find the link either posted with your teachers or sent out onto the Facebook Delia group event, as well as potentially in the comments below the video, yes. So check out the virtual gallery. We have lots of visual arts, dances, music, performances, written pieces. It's really exciting. So when the stream's over, go check it out.
So thank you for tuning in and see you next year. Bye!
Thanks for having us, guys. See ya.